How's your heart today? How is your heart? Hey guys, it's Terry. So nice to see you. How's your heart today? How is your heart? So I was asked this question, and now I'm doing this whole question series for advice, and I'm having some really great feedback from you guys. So thank you so much for participating. If you want to ask questions, please feel free to write in your questions about spirituality, paranormal information, and personal development as well, because they actually all are interconnected because we are made of energy and matter. And being human beings, we don't come with manuals. So we weren't necessarily taught how to be certain ways, how to act certain ways, or how to feel certain ways. It's things that we've had to learn along the way, primarily from our caregivers when we were teensy little babies, when we were really dependent on them. So they taught us their ways. Society has conditioned us their ways, but sometimes we got to figure out, who are we? What is actually us? What are our values? Because when we are connected to ourselves, we are able to really magnetize the abundance to us. Yes, yes, yes. So I got this question about time, and I have no time to do anything, and I just feel like a hot mess. So I wanted to address time with you guys and a little bit about making yourself maybe less messy. Yes. Now, just to share and be transparent with you guys, I myself have time scarcity issues. Yes, primarily in the realm of relationships. It's just the experience that I had growing up, and it is, in my case, a very ancestral situation. So this was something that through generations of family lineages, we were all taught, you got to get married, you got to do this, and you have to have kids, and it has to be in a certain amount of time. Now, I come from a Holocaust surviving family, so you add that tragedy to it, and it's like, it's got to be done now. You have a whole responsibility now to replenish the Jewish people now. Good Lord. That is a lot to put on a human being, right? Right. That's just one example, but there are plenty of examples out there of many people who are having issues making enough time to feel connected to themselves, to the divine, to their family, to their jobs, to whatever. So I just want to share with you a little bit about making it a little bit easier for y'all. Something to understand and realize, and again, we're not taught this, so this is something we have to learn. Time is a physical reality. Time actually is not real. Time is a consciousness. It's an awareness because space exists. Now I can hear that some of y'all are like, what the fuck does that mean, Terry? I get it. Like, it took me a while to really understand this concept as well, right? So time happens because we're aware of things that have to happen, situations that have to happen, people that have to happen or move or be in certain places or in certain areas. So when there is space, which is what the third dimension is, this is what we are living in, a physical reality, things we can touch, taste, smell, hear. It is experienced through our senses, okay? So it is very physical world. When you have space between things, it's a consciousness and awareness that things have to happen, right? I have to wake up in the morning. I've got to have my coffee. I have to potty my dog. I have to get to work, right? That is what happens in this amount of space, right? And because we're aware of these things that need to take place, it's a consciousness that it has to take place in a certain amount of time, okay? That is the third dimension physical reality that we as earthlings here on planet Earth are bound by, okay? So because of that, because there is space between objects, between people, between situations, between things, that's why time exists. So when you're saying, I don't have enough time to exercise, I mean, it's a legit thing to say. It is legit. So let me validate you on that. It's legit to say, I don't have time to exercise because I have to be at work by a certain time. I have to meet my clients. I have to go ahead and I have to feed my kids. I have to eat. I have to do all of these things. And that's because it's a consciousness and awareness and an agreement of the collective. That's the other part of this, that is the way time moves. You got to go linear from point A to point B to point C to point D in order to get from here to here, right? So in order to get from here to there, that takes up time because there is space between point A and point D, your beginning and your end, right? So here's where we can make our lives a bit easier. When we understand and accept that we live in a vibrational universe, so you have to be able to really accept that and understand that everything that we experience has a vibration and a frequency, right? So that means there's a wave, a light wave that moves either fast or it moves slow. The slower the wave, the more matter, the more dense. The higher the wave, the faster the wave, the higher, more light, okay? So time and the awareness of time, the consciousness of time is a slower moving wave. That means it moves and it's paced slower, okay? So that means we have to drag our slower moving frequency bodies from point A to point D, right? So that's a reason why things also take longer depending on how fast that frequency, how fast that wave is moving, right? So when we are saying we don't have enough time to exercise, that's an awareness and it's a consciousness, right? But as we all know, anytime we've created change in our life or something has shifted, it's because we did something different. That's it. And it can be this big. Something different. So if you're having this consciousness and awareness that you don't have enough time to exercise, but you have a goal of losing weight, but you don't have time to exercise, that means there has to be a consciousness and an awareness shift, right? And that takes you coming online. It takes you understanding that there is this process and that time is not only linear, but it happens because of our physical reality and there's no way we can escape it, and that's just the way it is. So what we need to do, or one of the ways that we can actually create more time, technically we're not creating more time. Technically, we're not. But it is a consciousness and an awareness shift that we're making, which is a change, right? So the way we can, one of the ways we can create more time is to actually list out what is it that we typically do on a daily basis and what can we take away? What can we take away based on priority and maybe based on, what's the word? There's a word like how well it feels to you. Like, is it suiting you? Like, is it soul filling, right? You take that away and all of a sudden, boom, you have time for something, right? So maybe just the most cliche, easiest, obvious thing to take away is playing around on the internet, on social media, right? So what you do is you take social media away, and then all of a sudden you have created more time. All you've done is switched your consciousness and awareness of something. I'm removing this and I'm putting this. So now you actually have time for exercise, right? In this 3D physical world that you are bound to, right? So that's just one way. Another way you can really change things up and create more time for yourself is by understanding how time works and doing it anyways. And literally just saying, okay, I'm gonna add this to my schedule. I'm gonna continue futzing around on the internet, and I'm gonna add time to exercise. But again, being fully aware and being fully conscious of doing that, right? And the shift or the change that you're making in that of awareness that you're making in that instance is that you're actually gonna do it. You're gonna follow up, right? That's part of self-care. You're adding this to, which actually to me personally feels a little overwhelming and a little stressful, or I should say a lot of overwhelming and a lot of stress. And that's something I personally wouldn't wanna do, but that is just a way of doing it. So really the main thing to understand is that there is a way to play with time. There's a way to make time available. You just have to be motivated enough, have the courage to actually do it, and to learn how to do it. And we do this by changing our consciousness and awareness, okay? Because time is only dedicated and relegated to this third dimension. So there is a way to play with it. If you don't know how, that's fine. I can help you. I can teach you. It's a practice thing. So don't be hard on yourself if you can't get it done right away, okay? And what am I always saying to you? Stay connected. Stay connected to your friends and family. Stay connected to yourself. And of course, you can stay connected to me. Check me out at terryhuberman.com and you can see all the ways that I can help you create more time. How cool would that be if you could actually get things done that you want to get done, right? Right. All right, guys. Thanks for writing in all your questions. I really appreciate it. And I'll see ya on the